Hello, boys and girls of the Northeastern Catholic District School Board. It's Mr. Buhler talking to you. And Milton is here as well. Milton's my friend. Milton lives in my house, and so we're sharing isolation together. And it is Easter Monday, April 13th. We've been in isolation now without school for quite some time. And there's a lot of different things that you guys might be wondering about or wishing or feeling right now because you've had your life changed so much by what's going on with COVID-19. Do you agree with me, Milton?
Yes, I agree very much.
Okay, so what kind of things have you felt during this time? Have you ever been worried, for example?
Most of the time I'm so bored.
Bored? Okay.
So boring.
Yeah, I can understand that because we're always in the same house or the same yard.
But sometimes I get really excited and I get an idea and I do something really fun.
Well, that's good too. I mean, I hope all of you are getting out there and doing something.
Sometimes I also get mad.
But what?
Well, I get mad at my sister, Piggy.
Oh, I see.
I'm so mad sometimes.
I think we should have your sister come up here next time too.
No. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you want to, don't you?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think you guys get along normally quite well. Do you ever feel sad or miss your friends?
Yes, I miss them so much. I just want to give a big hug when I see them.
Yes, and so some of us might be away from school for some time yet, and so these are the kind of things that we're feeling. Now, obviously, you can be very thankful that you have parents to play with or to take you outside.
Or a tail like mine.
Or a tail to swing from the rafters with, which is what Milton does all the time. It's really aggravating, I can tell you, as an old man. Yeah, you laugh it up. But anyway, there's different things that you can do to distract yourself. Read stories, play video games, play board games, do puzzles.
I love puzzles.
One of the things that I thought I would talk to you about today is the idea of a prayer table.
Oh.
Yeah, because sometimes praying is a nice way to remind yourself that there's a lot of good stuff going on and that there's a lot of hope that you can live with, that things can be okay, no matter what you're going through.
Mr. Buhler, is praying when you talk to God?
Yes, Milton, it is. And sometimes you pray with words, and sometimes you can be quiet and in your mind, or sometimes you sing a song. Yeah, there's all sorts of ways to talk to God. And that's why I want to talk to you guys today about the prayer table. And I'm going to show you the prayer table that I have set up right now. This is the prayer table. Milton, can you just watch this and learn?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm watching.
All right. So this prayer table here was one I had set up for Lent. And you can see that I had a purple cloth down for the prayer table because purple's the color of Lent. Purple's the color that we remember when we are remembering how serious life became for Jesus as he walked his last days to the cross. I have a bare tree here on my prayer table because, again, during Lent, it's a time when we're quiet and still, and you all have seen a tree in winter. Hey, Milton, you've seen a tree in winter, how it stands so tall without its leaves. Doesn't really move very much. I had a crucifix here. This is a crucifix that symbolizes Good Friday, of course, Jesus dying on the cross. And I had an empty bowl that had no water in it. Water is a sign of new life and of our baptism, but during Lent I kept the bowl empty. I also put some cedar on this prayer table. Cedar can mean a lot of different things, but for me, what I did with this prayer table is I put the cedar on the prayer table last week during Palm Sunday or Passion Sunday when Jesus came into Jerusalem on the donkey and all the children ran to him with green leaves from palm trees to put down as they welcomed him happily into Jerusalem. So I don't have palm leaves growing in Timmins. Milton, have you ever seen a palm tree here in Timmins?
No, only in pictures.
That's right. So I had to find something else, so I used cedar.
I like cedar.
Yeah, me too.
It smells so good.
Now, finally, on my prayer table for this past week, I put a family member here who I wanted to pray for. And so every time I looked at the prayer table, I was reminded about Jesus' suffering for us on the cross. I was reminded that we're in Lent and that soon with Easter we can remember to put water in the baptism bowl. I remembered how things are quiet and still and it's a time to pray during Lent or maybe to help other people. And I remembered Jesus' entry into Jerusalem in this past week. So now Lent has passed. Easter has come. Right,
Yay.
Milton?
Yay!
Did you look for Easter eggs?
Yes, I found a whole bunch.
Right on. Good. I mean, I didn't find any because my children took all of them, including you. Yeah, that's what happens when you're old and slow. Anyways, so now what I would like to do today is change this from a prayer table for Lent to a prayer table for Easter. And I thought maybe this would be something you would like to do at your house, in your bedroom, or in some quiet corner of the house. You would want to talk to your parents maybe just to make sure that they know what you're doing and that that they can help you. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this prayer table apart. So I'm going to just respectfully put the cedar branches down. I'm going to respectfully just take this down. I'm going to remember my dear family member who I'm praying for. Pray for her well-being. I'm going to take the crucifix off and put it on the palm branches. And I'll take this empty bowl off.
Mr. Buhler, I found something for the prayer table.
What's that?
I found a white cloth.
Perfect, because during Easter we take away the purple. You can see what I'm using for my prayer table. It's just an old apple box. But you might have a table, a small table, or even a chair that you can use. Or you could even do it on the floor. All right? So, I've got this box. Thank you, Milton, very much.
You're welcome.
Put this on there. So I'm going to put this tree on the altar, or on the prayer table.
That's nice.
And this empty bowl, and I'll explain why I'm doing this later. And I'd like a new cross. This crucifix here is a beautiful crucifix. It's been in the family a long time. But I'm going to put this back on the wall of our house. And I know, Milton, you've got it right there. Look at Milton. Beautifully done. Thank you. Okay, Milton has gotten this cross from Princess Sarah Zorinda. This is an Easter cross. It's the risen Jesus. You can see the sun above him, but then you see the trees, the forest, the birds, the animals around him, and you can see the village beneath him here and some vines and flowers growing, and you see the Holy Spirit here blessing all the children in the village. It's a wonderful cross. This cross comes from a country far away. Many of you wouldn't have a cross like this in your house. I think I bought this cross, or Princess Sarah Zorinda, pardon me, got this cross on her travels in Central America. So this is a cross that maybe you want to make something like this with some cardboard or some paper and some crayons.
Oh, it sounds like fun.
It would be fun. I think that would be lots of fun. But I'm going to put it right here on the prayer table. Maybe I'll move this here like this.
It's looking nice.
Now, what else can we put on the prayer table? I want to decorate this tree.
I've got an idea.
Do you have anything?
I've got an idea.
Oh, what's hanging from your ear?
Something for your tree.
Milton is always fooling around. Thank you. Don't move, Milton.
Oh.
There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take this Easter egg and I'm going to hang it on the Easter tree. And I have a bunch of other ones as well. Oops. And I'm going to hang them on this prayer table. Hold on one second, my friends. There we go. Easter eggs symbolize new life and new hope. Baby chicks are born from eggs, aren't they? And so that's why sometimes with Easter chocolate they'll have a hen as well. And it's a beautiful, hopeful sign to have an Easter egg. You could make your own pictures of Easter eggs if you don't have Easter eggs like this. You could also have butterflies hanging from there. You could make little butterflies to hang because butterflies symbolize the risen Jesus. Butterflies wake up from their cocoon, just like the tomb, and they fly into the air and they're free. So you could make little butterflies and hang them from your tree. This tree, by the way, my friends, is just in a little cup, and I filled it with some sand. I don't know if you can see the sand, but you could also use little stones or whatever else. But have your parents help you out, and you can have some fun with that. Now, Milton, do you have anything else for the prayer table?
I have one more thing, a happy picture.
Okay, good. Now, for my prayer table today, my friends, when I think of what to pray for, I sometimes think of family, and I think of the earth, the beautiful earth. I think of different people I know. I think of the church. I think of Pope Francis. I think of people who are suffering maybe because they don't have food to eat, or maybe they're just really sad or lonely. And today, I am prayerfully thinking of you. I'm thinking of the students in our schools from Moosonese, Bishop Below, all the way down to St. Patrick's in Cobalt, Sacred Heart in Kirkland Lake, St. Jerome, Aileen Wright, St. Patrick in Kapuskasing, Pope Francis School, St. Joseph's School, O'Gorman Intermediate, O'Gorman High School. Am I missing anybody, I wonder? ECCS in New Liskeard, and Holy Family in Englehart. All these beautiful schools. And St. Anne's in Iroquois Falls is another one. Mustn't forget that one. And so I'm thinking of all the students, and I hope and pray that all of you are learning something from your teachers during this time. I'm hoping that all of you are finding ways to play with your friends and brothers and sisters, or your brothers and sisters and your family, pardon me, and finding a way to pass the time in a good, hopeful way. And I hope that you're all happy. So I put a picture of you. Princess Sarah Zorinda drew this for me. She's such a wonderful artist. She draws nice pictures. Yeah, Princess Sarah Zorinda is the best. So I have this here to pray for you. Now, there's a few other things that I would like to suggest to you, though. Who do you want to pray for example? All right? Think about that for a minute while I do a couple other things. For example, I would like to fill my bowl with water. This is a ewer. E-W-E-R. Fancy word for a pitcher of water. A ewer. And I'm going to pour some water in here. This reminds me that Easter's here. This reminds me of my baptism. That I'm a child of God and I'm here to serve God and all my neighbors. Now, another thing about Easter is a bell. We ring in the risen Jesus with a bell on Easter Sunday. So I thought that I would put a bell on this prayer table as well, as a reminder of celebration and rejoicing. And again, I ask you folks, I wonder, oh, look at this. Milton, you gave me this before and I totally forgot. So thanks very much, Milton.
You're welcome.
This little bird, new life at Easter. I hope that this bird doesn't... Let's see here. Here we go. All right. All right. There. Flying bird. Life's good, eh? Now, you might be wondering who you could pray for. Maybe you want to pray for your parents. Are they working right now during this time of isolation during the COVID? Is your mama or papa a truck driver, or do they drive a bus or another vehicle? If they drive a vehicle or a truck, maybe you want to put a toy truck on your prayer table so that every time you look at the prayer table, you're reminded about the work that your parents do, and you can pray for them and pray for their well-being. Maybe your mama or papa is a nurse or a doctor or works at the hospital helping to keep it clean for everybody so it's safe. Maybe you want to put a couple Band-Aids on there to remind yourself of the work your parents do. Okay? So think about that. Maybe you can always draw pictures of the work that your parents do. If they work at a grocery store, for example, helping people get their food, which is so important nowadays, maybe you want to draw a picture of the store and put it on your prayer table. All right? So, however you want to do it. Oh, and I have this one more thing. This comes from Sweden, where Princess Sarah Zorinda is from. It's a Ukrainian Easter egg made in Sweden. Isn't that something? Beautiful, isn't it? We can pray for the people in the Ukraine when we look at an egg like that. So yeah, this is something you can do at home, my friends. You can try it out. You can put different images on the table that you want to pray for, and that way sometimes when we forget to pray, when we're walking past the prayer table, we just look and we quickly remember, oh yeah, my parents, I hope that they're okay today. And that's a way to pray. It's a beautiful way to pray. So, Milton,
yes,
thank you so much for your help today.
I like your prayer table, Mr. Buhler. I think I'm going to go make one now.
Good. You go do that in your room. And maybe next week I'll come back with a different prayer table. It's still going to be Easter next week. But maybe we can pray for something else next week with this prayer table. So thank you very much for listening, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Peace to you.